What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. This is episode number 137. I want to say quickly apologies for the shorter episode. Only 2 games in today's episode, and you'll see why to come in this episode. It's 2 good games, though. So we've got Juventus, I think, as the first one, and then we take on Arsenal in the Champions League as well to kick the episode and end the episode off, respectively. So we'll go into why it's only got 2 games into this one. Not because of anything other than what you're about to see in this first game. So we took on Juventus at home, looking to go our entire season unbeaten. As I said before, we want to try and get that full season in a top flight football league where we go without a defeat. And it looks as if this team is quite possibly one of the strongest ones I've had, right? And so this year, this season, could be one of those seasons where we try and go a full season unbeaten. Whether or not we'll actually do it is a different story. We've got a long way to go and there's still a lot to do. And the teams in this league are all competitive as well. So we've got to take that into consideration. But when you come up against Juventus, a team that we've beaten on every occasion, barring one, I believe, in which we first played them, we ended up with was it a 0-0 draw back then? I think we've beaten them every single time we played them since then. So this game here, I came into it thinking, you know what, we've done it before. We can certainly do it again. We battered them, if you remember back to the last cup game in the final that we had against them last season. We battered them 3-0 in that. So, at the end of the day, it's one of them situations where I came into it expecting us automatically to play well and expecting us to have this, luck and advantage in the game. And sometimes when you do that, it can be quite detrimental to the way you play. Now, I'm going to I will try my best not to spoil what goes on in this video, or in this episode, like the first game too much. But what I will say is, this has to be one of the most frustrating games of FIFA I have played in a very, very long time. It wasn't the way the game ended. It wasn't anything to do with that. It was the way I just could not get the look I needed. You'll see it to come in this game here as we do, in fact, kick this game off, rather, with our first chance of it. Very, very early on, 9 minutes in, Rashford striking one against the post. And I was thinking, you know what? Good start. Let's build on this. Let's get ourselves into a position in which we're having more and more attacks and we'll be able to find that goal. Yes, it's a bit unlucky we've hit the post early on there, but you know what? It happens sometimes. It's football. 16 minutes in, when this happened, I honestly didn't know what to make of it. I mean, I make a good tackle there with Silvera, and this is where I get so frustrated with this FIFA. The shielding technique in it is so annoying. I make a great tackle there with Renato Sanchez, and he falls straight into the path of Verratti, who slides in and somehow manages to put it into the bottom corner past Lou. So within 20 minutes here, we'd hit the post and then seen ourselves go a goal down. So, it's one of those situations, in which where you think to yourself, there's still a long way to go, we can get ourselves back in this one. But the fact I made 2 tackles, didn't get the ball, and it just kept bouncing back to Juventus, I didn't feel as if today was going to be a lucky day. And then 30 minutes into it, again, good attack for ourselves. Rashford bursting through, nice turn from him, gets around his man, gets a penalty kick for a very, very nice piece of skill to just knock the ball above Regani as he slides in on the challenge there. And in the 30th minute of the game, we have found ourselves with a penalty kick. And you all know how my penalties are in this game. And the less said about them, the better, because this is what happened. Rashford steps up, Zoet guesses the right way, and unfortunately the penalty is saved. So we still need to find that goal. And we're now into the stroke of half-time here. Vincenzini on it, into Silvera. At this point, I was on all-out attack. I was so frustrated as Rashford turns his man brilliantly and then strikes the other post. So that's what? A penalty missed. 2 times we've hit the woodwork so far in the opening 45 minutes. And for their goal, you have to say we made a couple of good tackles. And then it wasn't even done there because we had one more shot before the end of the half in which Zoet made another good save to deny us. So that first half, let's just put it behind us and hopefully get something in the second. Came back out looking for very much the same. Vincenzini knocking one into the area. Comes back to the back post. And once again, we strike it against the woodwork. This time, Ousmane Dembele with the diving header at the back post. Can't find it into that corner. This is exactly what I mean. 90th minute rolls around. Marcus Rashford now through the middle. It's Silvera as he goes through on goal. And Zoet makes an absolutely audacious save in the 90th minute to deny us with the opportunity to try and score here. Vincenzini then from the short corner tried to work something out. Just ended up running it straight into a Juventus defender. And at that point in the game, this is where I was tilted. We haven't lost a game all season. I want to try and go fully unbeaten. We hit the woodwork 3 times in this game. We missed a penalty. And Zoet pulled off 2 phenomenal saves. Like, how do I win a game in which Juventus have 1 attack? I make 2 tackles in my own area, it ball bounces back to them, they score it, and then I go on to have, 6 or 7 good opportunities to get myself back in the game, and I either hit the woodwork or I met a very, very informed goalkeeper. So that game at the start of it put me in such a bad mood. I was like, I'm going to have to play one more game, and then I'm going to have to go off. I'm going to have to just stop playing FIFA for a little bit, get back to the way it is, clear my mind, and just sort of come back with a fresh idea and a fresh mind, sort of mindset thing. Because if you play too much and you're already in a bad mood, chances are your gameplay is going to be affected. So I didn't want to go into it too much and start playing as many games as I possibly could based on what just happened there. So although this is very important against Arsenal, I kind of felt as though we had a point to prove. I cannot go in the game where I have 7 attacks and not score and also hit the post. I felt as though that was one of those games in FIFA where you just get a lot of the unluckiness out of the way in one go and you go back to the way you should be going. So hopefully, that little bit of unlucky spell there against Juve means that will be now put behind us. We can go again against Arsenal here. We'll have a bit more luck on our board. But also it means as well now, guys, effectively, all I'm playing for is the league title in the Champions League. Our unbeaten season is done, so it means I will be simming against the smaller teams in the league. I am looking to do, as I said, one more career mode before the end of FIFA 17 is out. So, yeah, I want to try and get through this quickly, get into that Champions League, try and play all of them, try and play that Champions League final, and also win it at Inter Milan. Once that's done, hopefully we can grab ourselves a new career mode with a different team for you guys that are new onto the channel. Because I understand for people coming through and for people who have never sort of got into the series because you are new to the channel, it can be so long to go back and watch 130 episodes worth of a career mode. So I understand that completely. I understand where you guys are coming from as well with the fact that you guys may not be enjoying this as much as you once were. In which case, we will be going to a different team and restarting another career mode effectively. So anyways, to talk back about this game against Arsenal here, as I said, looking to bounce back from that really frustrating game last time out. Fosu Mensah, early strike here, 24 minutes on the clock, goes to the, unfortunately goes wide of the post. He has scored from that sort of range before against Manchester United, if you remember, in the Champions League last season. So, I was thinking he was going to do the same there. But then Inaki Williams did, in fact, make it 1-0 for us here, 31 minutes into this one. Fantastic little team play, gets into a good position and manages to just slot home past the goalkeeper as we managed to grab ourselves the opening goal of this one. So, we didn't find ourselves a goal down, and also we didn't have the bit of unluckiness of hitting the post and the woodwork constantly, which was so frustrating in the last one. So, although I felt as though we were going to go on and win this one, I mean, as I've said before, the computer sometimes make the bad choices in terms of transfers and stuff. Like, for example, Arsenal had Simone Zaza leading the line today for them, which is just, yeah, extremely questionable by Wenger. But hey-ho, he's the manager. He makes the decisions. I personally wouldn't have done that, but yeah, he may not have had that much money or something along those lines. But you can see Inaki Williams was running ragged here as he got on the ball yet again. And this time, Perrin was equal to his curling effort goalwards. Decent save from the keeper. Into the second half now we went as Renato Sanchez on the ball. Nice bit of hold-up play from him. Gives it off to Dolberg. Dolberg takes a strike on. And yet again, Perrin is behind the ball. But that time it was pretty much straight at him. And if he'd have not saved it, you'd have been asking questions of the man between the sticks there. And we went short from the corner. Gave it off to the edge of the area. Eventually, I got a bit of luckiness with the ball that came back to me here. We give it back inside to Renato Sanchez, who's going to strike this one goalwards. And he, very much like Fosu Mensah's early strike in the first half, goes just wide of that bottom corner. You can see it from this angle. It wasn't too far away from finding it. And if it had done, it would have shored up the 3 points in this group stage and made sure that we were going back with the group stage lead as well. Because right now we're both sat on 6 points as an Arsenal. So the team that wins this will have sole position of first. As Vincenzini steals the ball back, Dolberg gets there ahead of the man as well. Tried to curl it top bins. Again, Perrin, decent save from the Italian keeper. So it looks as if, guys, again, we had a lot of shots. We couldn't manage to find that second goal, but we did pick up the 3 points in this one, and we do take over as sole position of first in the group. So that's always good to see. As I mentioned, guys, as well, I apologise for this episode being a bit short. I was very tilted after playing that first Juventus game. I didn't want to play any more FIFA. I was like, I'm done for today. I'd already recorded about 4 or 5 episodes of different regardless stuff, My Player, Road to Glory, and this. So I played my FIFA and got, FIFA'd out in a sense. So yeah, I apologise for the shorter-ish episode. If you still enjoyed it, though, I'd appreciate a like rating. As always, thank you all for your continued support on the channel. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. And stay tuned as well at 6 PM tonight. There is another episode of the Road to Glory Career Mode coming out. That's it from me, and I'll catch you all at 6. Adios.